I think now has never been a better opportunity for the people who want to separate themselves from everyone else. For example, let's say I'm in college
Mhm.
and I'm graduating right now, and I'm like, oh snap, like people ain't really hiring like that. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Now,
Mhm.
one person can spend 100% of their time sending out resumes and worrying, or they could say, okay, let me spend 25% of my time reading these books that normally I wouldn't have time to read because I was so busy. So I can read personal development books, I can watch interviews on Officially Unofficial, I can do this personal work, right? That
Mhm.
I didn't have the time to before. You do,
Right.
you have the time, right?
Yep.
I spend 50% of my time still sending out resumes and doing all that stuff. And then I can spend another 50% of my time building up my personal brand. Maybe I should create a YouTube channel where, like, like, if this is how I would think if I
Mhm.
was a college student and I wanted to get a job right now.
Okay.
Let's say I had a dream of getting a job in the big four accounting firm, right? Like, oh, if I could get a job at a big four accounting firm. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a YouTube or a Facebook Live series where I would contact people at accounting firms and be like, can I interview you about how to get started in this world and how to be successful at it? You're doing it. There's tons of people like me who want to do it. How do you do it?
Right.
So then I would message them and say, could you give me 30 to an hour so I can interview for this YouTube channel? I'm talking about how to get in and succeed in a big four accounting firm. And you know what? And they have thousands of employees. Just go to LinkedIn and send them a message. They're going to be honored. Like, not everyone's going to say yes. It's
Right.
life.
Yeah.
You know, here's what will happen. This is my promise. Number one, you're going to get a whole bunch of people who are going to give you the game for the
Right.
thing you're in. Right? And number two, you don't think that person's going to get offered a job eventually by someone at the big four accounting firm if they get interviewed with them and you blow them away and you show them how passionate you are, and then you build your brand up and you show how you're innovative and creative? Like, I would absolutely do that. And then people say, oh, but who am I to do it? Like, get a person who decided to do it.
Yeah.
So I would use this opportunity to build and learn and build the relationships with people without realizing, like, because look, the world can't stop. Like,
Mhm.
this ain't any penny, the sky ain't falling.
Mhm.
So this is your opportunity to dig your well. And I promise you, people will be blown away because most 21-year-olds don't have that kind of drive.
Right.
So if you demonstrated that drive, you're gonna get job offers and you're going to learn and build relationships and connections that might last for a lifetime. So if I were any college student who was freaking out about what I would do, look, send out your resumes, do all that stuff, but yo, jump on a Facebook Live. You don't have to have a beautiful background like Anna does. Like, everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, how do I get that aesthetic that Anna got? Right? Like, you may not have it, you may not have fancy software, but you could jump on a Facebook Live and you can split the screen and you can have a conversation with someone and ask them all the questions you ever wanted to ask them. And 6 out of 10 people will say yes. And now you position yourself as the expert in this as a young person, and like, sky becomes the limit. So there's always opportunities. You just got to be willing to expand yourself and absorb content like what you're putting out, Anna, so that people can think differently
Mhm.
and take different actions and therefore get different results. If I had to get a job, and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm very unemployable, but if I ever needed to get a job, I would do things like that,
Mhm.
knowing there's something called obliquity, which means it's like you want to go after a goal, but you go after it kind of in this non-direct way. Everyone thinks, like, if I want to go after a goal, we've all seen the internet meme, right? Like, if I want to go after a goal, it's a straight line, right? That's
Mhm.
that's goal achievement, and it's not. It's all
Right.
this, it's all
Right.
this, it's all this wild twists and turns and lefts and right. So if I would, like, yo, I want to get a job at, some, like, whatever. Like, I
Right.
want to be a photographer. Let's say I want to be a hotshot photographer, right? I know you're an excellent photographer, and you do incredible headshots and you do incredible conferences and events. Like, that's how we met. Is you were taking photos at an event I was speaking at. And let's say I want to get in photography. Okay, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to say everyone, oh, I should be a photographer. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start interviewing successful photographers. I'm
Mhm.
going to create like a YouTube channel or a podcast or a Facebook Live and contact photographers who I think are boss and be like, tell me about how you got into it. What are your techniques? How do you do it? They'll go on your live because they think, wow, I get to share my expertise and maybe I'll get some clients and build my brand. And you benefit because you're learning and absorbing from the greatest people in the game. And who
Mm-hmm.
knows, that person might go, yo, I got a wedding and my, second camera person can't make it. Do you think you can? And then you start getting jobs and opportunities.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would think like that, and I think most people aren't taught to think like that, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
get them. It's obliquity. It's not a.
Right.
It's not a real word.
That's
It's just.
that's not a real world. That's not a real word.
I don't think it's a real word. I think it's made up. I think obliquity just means you go after your goal indirectly.
I guess that's an well. Wait, a realism.
I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. There's a book that's called Obliquity, and that's the whole premise of the book.
Okay, I got you. All
I
right, all
wish
right.
I was that smart. I'm so not that smart.
So wait, but let me tell you something. I'm super smart because I want to be a great speaker, and I'm interviewing you live.
Yo, this is how it works, right? Like, and I wish people would get like the interview is such a powerful medium.